And the first thing I'm gonna say is shout out to the homeboy, the OG Tariq Nusad. The problem is when we try to educate our own, there's always a problem with it. They don't want us to talk about so Tariq went deep into the culture and the creation of hip hop because people who didn't have anything to do with it was trying to take credit for what they didn't create or what they didn't have anything to do with it. So Tariq Nusad came out and he said, hey, this is what happened. He talks to the OGs, the creators, the people who's there from the beginning, and they told the truth. And a lot of people, like the person I'm gonna feature in this video, Fat Joe, got really upset with that. Really, really upset. And I wonder why. But let's get into it.
Hip-hop started in Jamaica.
Positive as foundational Black Americans. Everybody wants credit for it, and we give everybody credit for it. Like, yeah, you want to get credit for our music, that's fine. That's why we see a lot of people talking about Jamaicans created hip hop, which is not true.
No, we did.
How so? Oh, let's get into this. How you create hip hop?
Well, okay.
Come on, let's get into this. Let's get into this. How you create hip hop, eh?
Well, I didn't create hip hop.
No, how did Jamaicans create hip hop?
But I'm gonna. I heard it was because of Jamaicans. I'm just here telling you the narrative I've heard.
We're gonna clear that up.
The narrative. Because the Jamaicans that inspired Kool Herc to go to the Bronx, do whatever. That's what I've heard. And by the way, for my people from the islands, I'm trying to be our representative, and I'm here to be a buffer. You know what I mean? I'm here to be a buffer.
We're gonna clear these lies up, though.
No, hold up. I'm gonna get somebody in the next room to Google the joint. So you're trying to don't take it from us, Jamaicans. Now, come on.
Y'all didn't create hip hop. I'm sorry, brother. There were rap records in the 1960s. Pig Meat Markham had a couple of records.
What was the first hip hop record?
Well, the first technical hip hop record, it's a cross between King Tim III and Rapper's Delight. The first technical hip hop record doing what they were doing at the parties in the Bronx, a record. But rap records existed going back to the 1920s where people were rapping on beat. Foundational Black Americans, we've been doing that. Gospel troops rapping over the beat. Even the word rap, that's something that Foundational Black Americans were doing in the 60s. The word, the term, even.
So you had Ack, who's a tether, a culture vulture, trying to give his people credit for something he didn't do. But let's talk to Kool Herc. Kool Herc, who we gave credit for. Let's see what Kool Herc has to say about this whole situation.
How y'all doing? Well, I could tell you it started from these young people right here. If you want to go back into time, these are the people that inspired me and recognized me for playing music in my apartment and then dancing outside the window, outside my window, 1520 Central Avenue, 70, 71, 72. And then, before island becomes seen, it's bubbling under the sea. So it's been bubbling where we was at, like a first ripple. And then the island broke from under the sea in 73. All right, it spread from block to block, from borough to borough. It then started in 73. It got exposed. It cracked to see a new island is on the block. All right, it wasn't supposed to go anywhere. It was supposed to be a fad. Next week is over. It's not going to last. It was always told upon me, go down there to the hippity hop. In other words, go down to the gutter rats. Yeah, we was called that. Next week is going to finish. Next month is going to go. Next few months is going to go. But like you tell a kid don't do something, they're going to do it.
How you doing?
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you. And first of all, the whole freestyle staff is glad to see you here. And I've heard you're originally come from Jamaica and reaching there in New York. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. I'm an immigrant from the island off Jamaica, in Kingston, the capital. And I migrated my family to the United States in '67.
Oh yeah, and then you had your sound system working in New York from up to then.
No, I was attending junior high school.
Ah yeah, I see.
I was around 13 years old back then.
Ah yeah, okay. But then you started your sound system.
I started to go to parties when I was around 16 years old.
Yeah.
And around.
Now you see how he said in 71 he was going to parties at 16 years old, and the guy just tried to discredit everything everything that we did. He went to a party and he heard this music. Kool Herc wasn't the inventor. He was the one to put it to the forefront.
As far as trying to make the American people and dance to the music, I started to say that I could use their rhythm bass instead of using Jamaican rhythm bass. But along the way, a few people know I was Jamaican.
It all came from the American R&B music, you know, because we're always being influenced by the impressions, all them soul R&B groups.
Love your sister, love your brothers. We would listen to a Dionne Warwick song and try to sing it exactly as Dionne did it. If you are a group, you would try to study the Supremes, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. If there was a group who comes from abroad to our shores, we would want to go and see them because they have something to teach us.
If you listen to Kool Herc and some of his Jamaican brethren, they're going to tell you that they music didn't pop off like that. They used FBA, Foundational Black American Artists, to help this pop off. But he didn't learn this style. He learned this style once he came to America. It wasn't in Jamaica. It wasn't prevalent. If you were listening to some of the reggae, it sounds like our old R&B music. That's where they got it from. They got it from James Brown. They got it from these guys. They got it from the older generation of our people. What they did was when they created these break beats, they played music that our parents were listening to. They played James Brown. They played Chuck Berry. This is the music that they played. With no Jamaican music being played in these breaks, so how did they get credit for creating something that they didn't have nothing to do with?
Jamaican 67. And came make her mother was, learning about nursing. So she used to bring Smokey Robinson records, some Motown records down. Plus my father bringing records from the wharf.
And that's your next foundation.
That's foundations. And I left from Jamaica. I came up here with a heavy accent. That's how I'm going back.
I still got mine. I don't lose it.
But I come here and I try to apply reggae music to the American kids, and the heavy accent and the record, them couldn't understand it. Then Bob Marley, the Wailers came along and emphasized more on his vocabulary and the words, and people start pick up on it. So when I know when Eric Clapton made I Shot the Sheriff, I know that was a reggae record. I know that was a reggae record. So right there now, I use a lot of James Brown, a lot of, bass line in it, because James Brown is like a preacher to me. James Brown is another link. James Brown is another link.
Not a foundation.
Yes, I used his music and a few other, white groups like, Rare Earth, a record called Get Ready, and then the Isley Brothers, a record called Get Into Something, and then some other records that I pick up because I don't play this stuff.
This person I'm gonna play is Grandmaster Cash, and he's gonna tell you what you need to know about this whole situation. It hurt because he's from the same area, same neighborhood as Herc. So he's finna go ahead and get into it, and we're gonna go back to Joe after this, all right?
Hip-hop didn't have a name when we started. We didn't start out, let's do the hip-hop thing. Nah. The name hip-hop came from a cadence in marching.
Explain that, please.
Yeah, Grandmaster Flash was playing at a party, all right? And a cowboy, Keith Cowboy, one of his MCs, may he rest in peace, was going into the army next day. So he's fucking with him on the mic. He like, yeah, so-and-so, I forgot the dude's name. Somebody know, but I forgot his name. He was like, yeah, so-and-so, this and that. Yeah, you having a good time now. You partying now, but tomorrow, your ass gonna be getting up at the crack of dawn like, here, ho, here, ho, here, ho. You know that cadence when they walk? Here, ho, here. That's where hip-hop came from.
This is fucking me up right now. This is crazy.
And then that cadence became repeated so much, it became like a signature thing, here, until hip-hop, the word hip-hop formed. And then Lovebug Starsky was the one who really kind of took it over the top with the hip, the hop, the hip-hip, the hop, the hop, the hop, hip-hip. Hip-hop was the most repeated phrase throughout our conversation. So hip-hop became the name of our culture.
Goddamn, make some noise.
And let's go into Joe's whole diatribe, where Joe felt as though that Puerto Ricans were 50-50 in the creation of hip-hop with blacks. So a lot of you New Yorkers, it's like, oh, well, the Puerto Ricans, they was raised and grew up with us, but The older New Yorkers have something totally different to say. See, y'all are with this new situation where they're trying to gentrify y'all neighborhood and they pushing y'all together. In other regions, we know what it is. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to let the original, one of the OG Puerto Rican DJs, talk about his experience in DJing. And then we're going to come back and we're going to end this out. All right?
Every time we'd go somewhere, and me and Tony would go together, they would say, hey, they will make announcements, DJ Charlie Chase and Tony Tone's in the house. So people would come over to say what's up to us, but they'd walk over to me and say, yo, Tony, what's up? Because they knew Charlie Chase was bad on the 1 and 2s, but they figured the black guy was Charlie Chase because they couldn't picture a Puerto Rican rocking the 1 and 2s the way they heard it on the cassettes. And Tony would say, no, I'm Tony. That's Charlie. And they'd have this stunned look on their eyes like, really? Like for real, they don't believe it. They wouldn't believe it until they actually saw me play, and then they accepted it then. But the problem that I was having with that was that I was getting a lot of pushback. There was a lot of prejudice in the sense that the blacks were telling me, you know what, man, go back to your cowbells and your music, you don't belong here. And then the Hispanics were telling me, what the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing playing that Jungle Bunny music, And I was getting criticized by both sides. What are you doing? And
Jungle Bunny music. That's what the Puerto Ricans described it as. Jungle Bunny music. Now, after hearing that, you expect me to believe that they was there from the beginning? Joey, Joe Crack. You expect me to really believe they was there from the beginning? Come on, bro, quit it. So I'm going to end this. This is the history. So when I get in and go in on Joe, because I'm going to go in on Joe, I was trying to, chill and let him get his shit off. I was letting him land the plane. I'm going to go in on Joe, and we'll get at y'all the next episode for the culture.